one. And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
Oh, we're blessed and highly favored, happy and grateful to be here. Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win as a consumer advocate, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. We appreciate all the phone calls and supporting our show partners. We got about 80 different categories, 40 different show partners that we bring on daily to be your consumer advocate, help you make those smart decisions out there when it comes to your finances, your real estate, credit, finance, all these different areas. And we got some interesting stuff, some pop culture stuff to talk about. Mark Haye's in studio with us. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk's legacy again. Also, this guy, Bad Bunny, nobody's ever heard of him. I guess he's somewhat popular for youth, but Jack Posobiec has an interesting tweet about him. Bad Bunny chosen to speak at the Woke NFL halftime show, and nobody's interested in it, for at least not in my sphere group. So he's cross-dressing, sings in Spanish. He hates Trump, hates ICE. I don't know why they would pick him other than they don't like us. They don't like conservatives, and they continue to do that with the NFL. But also Florida Doge. Man, across 4 local governments right now, Blaze Agnolia, Ron DeSantis, they are on fire. I tell you what, 4 local governments, they've already identified over $754 million of excessive spending. And yes, some of that's right here in Hillsborough County, $279 million to be exact, right here, of overspending your tax dollars, my tax dollars. And I tell you what, I'm pissed. I don't like it. I hate to hear these stories, but I'm glad that somebody's doing it. And when you go back to that original idea of Doge, the efforts of President Trump and his team, Elon Musk, they're now bringing this into Florida. So let's talk a little bit about that here, coming up here with Mark Haye as well. We have Mike Murphy joining us in studio as well. Murphy Auto Group, auto expert contributor. Mark is our financial advisor, expert contributor, going to talk about some of the important documents that you need to have that you shouldn't live with and you can't die without. We're going to talk about that, estate planning as well, with Mark Haye here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, as you know, I'm a top realtor in the area. My wife, Lindsay, and I own the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. We buy houses cash. We do mortgages as well. We help you with the financial advice, real estate investing, and we always feature our listings on air. We've got a new listing here at 3222 Jackson Drive. This one's in Holiday, Florida, Pasco County. We've got a 2-2 that just hit the market, 1126 square feet, fully furnished, lakefront home in Holiday, Florida. Gorgeous lake views here on Lake Conley. Beautiful property. Lake Nash is there as well. Beautiful, peaceful canal. And great opportunity. Lots of updates just recently done on this property. Got a nice sitting area in the back. Back porch, open concept. I love that open concept kitchen. Looks like a recent remodel as well on that home. 3222 Jackson Drive in Holiday. It's a 2-2, 1,126 square foot home right here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida. And we can help you buying, selling, investing at consumerqb.com. If you want to have your listing featured live on air, check out consumerqb.com. Our new listing also on Pemberton, we just went under contract. We went under contract in 3 days on this property at $1.95 million list price, $1.999 million list price, and we're under contract very close to list price. We have backup offers already on this. So I'm telling you, the market shifted. Our marketing's better. So I don't want to hear the excuses about, I'm going to wait and see what's going on with the market. Oh, it's terrible market. No, it's not. There's bad agents. If we all got the same results, if we all did the same things, we would all get the same results, right? So when your listing's out there for 6 months on the market or more, you're just not working properly. Your agent's not working properly. So you got to talk to the team here at the Platinum MVP team. So 2906 Pemberton Creek Drive. We don't even really have to market that anymore. We're under contract. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 4-car garage, 6822 square foot on 3+ acres. And we already went pending on it in 3 days. So God is good, and we appreciate that. And you can see all of our listings, PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. That's right. Yeah, only in America. Mark Haye, can you put a new listing on the market? Go pending in 3 days, and things are good, man.
Well,
Capitalism works, right?
Congratulations. That's good to hear. Yeah, you guys do a great job. You and your wife do an awesome job. You got a really good team. I mean, I met a lot of your agents too.
Thank you.
Very good team. Very good people. You guys are really good people. So
yeah, appreciate
congratulations, my man.
Thank you, sir.
You know? Well, I wanted to just I haven't been here since the whole assassination of Charlie Kirk, which I felt like it was like 9/11 all over again. I mean, I sat in front of that TV and just watching as much as I could for 48 hours.
I cried.
You know, I was cried.
I'm not gonna.
It was
hold back.
Scary. It was horrible. And so I was kind of just going to touch base on Charlie Kirk. And then, you know, when it comes to financial planning, we work with estate planning attorneys, and we do business succession planning and life insurance and wills and trusts, and it's very, very important. So just wanted to, talk about Charlie Kirk for a minute. And, he was on this show, or before the show. His show was on, at 3 o'clock, and you come on at 4 o'clock. And, and so I listened to him for many, many years now. I actually met him when he came to Tampa a few years ago, not cordially, just saw him and shook his hand or whatever. Yeah. But just for that to happen in front of the world, in front of 18-year-olds and his family and his wife, and I mean, it's just a horrific, horrific thing. And I wish I didn't see it. I wish I didn't look at it and see it. You know what I mean?
It's terrible.
And I have a lot of clients that have talked about it with me in the last few weeks. And I have one client, she's like 65, 66 years old, and she's got 2 daughters in her 30s. And she had no idea who Charlie Kirk was, and it happened, and her 2 daughters are really visibly upset and crying, and she had no idea what was wrong. And so she went on a rabbit hole tour for 48 hours just looking up Charlie Kirk and watching videos and video. And, she came out of that, and she was so thankful that her daughters followed this man, and that, like, she was like to tears. Like, I'm so happy that my daughters were following this man so much that they felt that, and he does have good teaching. If you sit down and listen, and a lot of people will take a 5-second TikTok clip and think that's reality, and they don't actually sit down and listen from start to finish any of his debates or videos, and you see these people with these vile comments and these disgusting comments about, happy it happened, and I hope his wife's next, and his kids.
Demonic,
and, just really disgusting, grotesque stuff. And, they're getting let go from their jobs. These teachers, a lot of them are teachers and nurses, and a lot of other stuff are getting let go. And I genuinely think that they're surprised and shocked that they're being let go from their jobs.
Yeah.
And so then I sit back and I think about it, and I think, the real tragedy of all this is with these people that are saying and doing this disgusting things for the world to see, by the way, they're posted for the world to see, is I truly believe that they're victims as well. Now, they have to be accountable. You can't do and say things and not expect consequences. But I do think they're victims because there are powerful people that are pushing this, and they believe it, and they're in this reality where they believe that a Nazi regime has taken over this country, and that they have to do something. We have to take it into our own hands, and we got to fight, and we're going to have our rights taken away, and Charlie Kirk was just part of that regime, and we killed a Nazi. And
true.
If you put it in perspective, if Hitler was alive today, and Hitler killed 6 million people, he was just a horrible man. But if he was alive today in America and he died, everybody here would probably assume that 99% of the people would be like, well, I'm glad Hitler's dead. I mean, that was an evil man.
Yeah.
And these people, they believe that. They believe that. And so the question is, how hypnotized would you have to be to run around believing that a Nazi regime has taken over and Charlie Kirk was part of that regime?
Right.
That this is a good thing that this is happening. And it's just
brainwashed.
It's brainwashed. And it's just so sad that people live in this fear and scared and depressed and they live this way, and they don't have to live this way.
Right.
It's like a hypnotos Hitlerian type situation, this reality of whatever is going on. And again, it's disgusting, but I do kind of feel sorry for them because they live in this reality. Now, how do you live in an alternate reality? There's really 2 ways. It's you're mentally ill or crazy, right? But I think the logical thing is, like we talked about, I think that there's too many powerful people pushing a narrative that people are now believing.
Well, did you see what Hillary just said, yesterday's news?
I saw Kamala over the weekend. But
she said something to the effect that again, attacking the white male, the white men of a certain religion, she said. So there you go. I mean, that's one of the top, brass. And you've got Barack Obama lying out of his, what. You've got all these people that are prominent, and then they're going on these broadcast radio or radio and television, and they're just spewing these lies. I mean, like Kimmel did. He just flat out lied. Oh, it was a MAGA guy that did it. No, it was not.
And who cares if it's a MAGA, who cares? It's still a fellow American. Mm-hmm. It's still a father. It's still a son. It's still a husband, a business owner. He's our brother. Everybody should feel bad that this happened to this man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Regardless of what affiliation he is. I disagree with a lot of leaders in this world. And, if they were assassinated in front of the world, in front of their family, I'm not necessarily going to go online and just praise that.
Right.
I keep my mouth shut. Like you learn when you're a kid. If nothing nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
Right.
Just keep it to yourself. But again, it goes back to my point. I just think that we live in this alternate universe or reality these people do, and I just feel so sorry for them. And it's just, why would you want to live like that? And then when they say, you hear the same thing. He's a Nazi, he's a fascist, he's sexist, whatever. Oppression. Like it's you're gonna oppose or silence someone has a different opinion or a different belief. If you go back and listen to Charlie Kirk, every single one of his videos is, if you disagree with me, come to the front of the line.
That's it.
Right? He's not saying, if you agree, come to the front because then we can have an agreement. You know what I mean? He's saying, come to the front of the line. That's the opposite of fascism.
Here's a clip from Charlie. Look, just check this out. I pulled this one up over the weekend.
It's usually a college campus against Charlie. I've noticed the swing of a college campus.
It's totally
with
changed.
Charlie now, and it's radically different, and it's so much more fun to watch. What do you attribute that to?
You know what it is? The people in this audience are smart, and they're panicking that they're not going to have a country. They're the first generation since George Washington to have it worse off than their parents.
Isn't that right? I mean, think about finances, Mark. Let's go into some finances now, because that's true what he's saying. It costs more to own a home. It costs more to insure a home. It costs more to buy an automobile. It costs more to do almost everything in modern-day America. And again, it's the people calling the names that caused it. Biden had how many trillions of dollars of spending during his administration and his auto pen?
Just printing and printing and printing and printing and sending it overseas and not taking care of our country. But yeah, you're right. It's just everything costs so much more now. Now, I will say that we have a serious problem in our education system.
Yes.
When you watch these disgusting people with these comments, and you find out the majority of them are teachers and professors and superintendents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we need to really step back as a country and say, okay, we need to pull the plug on this Department of Education.
Yes.
We need to go back to basics. You know what I mean? No more of this indoctrination of we're going to do trans, we're going to whatever belief. Let's just stick to the education. Let's stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's know the Pledge of Allegiance. Most of these kids don't even know it anymore.
Right.
Let's teach math and reading and writing and art and physical education. And I don't know, maybe a finance class so people aren't just dependent on the government all the time. Well, we don't have to make it so confusing for people to actually know how to do financing.
Yep.
And so I just think that if we learn anything, that Department of Education needs to be completely revamped.
Did you see the numbers in Hillsborough County? Right here in Hillsborough County, talking about, if you just joined us, I'm talking with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial, and we're talking about the modern state of American and going specifically into what Charlie warned against is our generations, the generations before us as well, they're worse off than their parents, right? 7,000 students in Hillsborough County said, nope, no more public schools. Parents said no more for their children, and they're homeschooling their children now. 7,000 in Hillsborough, and I think Pinellas is around 3,500 is what I saw. So I know we're looking to do that too. We're going to bring our kids and teach them the way that we want them to be educated, because we're not going to have a couple of kids that are brainwashed to be thinking that these leftist Marxists and anti-capitalism is the way to go.
Yeah, and go back to the schools. We have these school shootings, and people are like, oh, guns are bad, this and that. Why don't we put armed guards in every single school?
Exactly.
We have armed guards in banks. We have armed guards protecting our politicians, protecting our celebrities. NFL. We have armed guards everywhere except for our schools.
Exactly.
And we have the money. Like we were talking about with Doge. There's $300 million just in Hillsborough that was wasted. You know how many guards we can get every single school? There's going to be zero shootings in Hillsborough, Pinellas, etc. if you take that waste and put it into something that is actually going to be beneficial and put armed guards in these schools.
Absolutely.
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of seeing the shooting in these churches and these schools and then blaming guns and this. But you can arm banks and hold our money safe. But you can't do it to our kids.
Right.
Or our celebrities can be safe, but not our kids.
Yep. And the woke NFL, I want to go off on the NFL next. We got to take a quick break here coming up, but more. I want to talk about Jack Posobiec, what he talked about Barack Obama and Jay-Z and how they're on the selection committee for this ridiculous NFL halftime act. And I think good news is going to come from it. I think Turning Point USA is going to hold a counter NFL halftime show. So in other words, switch the channel, go over to the Turning Point USA's halftime show, and they're going to have guys like Chris Tomlin. They're just like Charlie's Memorial. They're going to have
Americans.
Brandon Lake and good Christian music and Americans. Yeah, maybe somebody like a George Strait or something. But we got to take a quick break here. Mark Haye in studio with us. 21st Century Financial. We're your local Google. Choose us when it comes to buying, selling, investing. Financing your money, looking at home services, blue collar, white collar, all these different areas that we cover. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleanings, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Economy grew at 3.8% rate in the second quarter, significantly stronger than previously reported, and that's kind of interesting, right? Because you remember back in the Biden years, they overestimated the amount of jobs, and then they came back and downwardly revised those. I think it was like 13 months in a row. But when Trump's in office, they report the GDP, and then they raise it. So, yeah, 3.8% GDP in America. So good stuff happening there. And we're talking with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial here, all things financial related. Get a review also. Let him look at what you're doing for your retirement. Let him look at your estate plans. Let him see what you're sending to your CPA. He's does a great job with that. He takes care of our finances and a lot of the folks that call into the show as well. 813-917-1894. You can call that hotline, 813-917-1894. And we'd love to talk to you about your real estate, your finances, mortgage side. A lot of great time also to look at a refinance, maybe pay off some higher interest rate debt and look at that overall household interest rate if you got higher interest rate credit card debt. All right, 9914 Ala Vista Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. This is another $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. This is one of the listings that Doug took over for us. It's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1922 square feet, elevated stilt home at the end of a quiet street on a large waterfront lot. Nestled on a canal off the Alafaya River, direct access to the Gulf of America, and a beautiful property, 9914 Ala Vista Drive. Great opportunity to buy real estate. I love that home. Check out that boat dock, and it's just got that tropical feel to it. You got a 50-year galvanized standing seam metal roof as well. Beautiful property on Ala Vista Drive in Gibsonton, Florida. 118 Lakeshore Drive East, Palm Harbor, Florida. Lake Tarpon, you got wide open 180-degree water views. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1740 square feet, quarter-acre lot, and a beautiful boat dock with a boat lift and jet ski lifts. And a great opportunity to buy real estate. Again, waterfront property, 180-degree views on Lake Tarpon, which is a 2,500-acre lake. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Mark Haye in studio with us. Mark, we kind of teased the, just put that up, Dave, that Jack Poso. So Jack Poso says, Barack Obama's best friend Jay-Z runs the Super Bowl selection process through his company Rock Nation, which has an exclusive contract with the NFL. This is who chooses the halftime show, the most watched musical performance in America. And this year they chose to give it to a cross-dressing, Spanish-speaking and singing. From what I understand, he sings mostly in Spanish. And just an ignorant guy that doesn't understand why we have ICE agents. The next slide there for me, Dave. And then you look at this other tweet here as well. Benny Johnson. This is Bad Bunny. He was just announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist, no songs in English. He even canceled his entire U.S. tour for this reason. F ICE could be outside my concert. And it's something that we're, whatever. So, what do you think about Bad Bunny, Mark? I never heard of him until this was announced.
I mean, I never heard of him, and I probably get in trouble for a bunch of people, by saying this. But I think mental health is a serious issue.
I do too.
And if someone wants to change their 8-year-old son to a female,
yes,
and they want to mutilate that person,
yes,
I just have a very hard time, and I think we need to stop congratulating and we need to start getting serious about mental health.
Yeah.
And I think I heard someone say it before. If your 8-year-old comes home and says he's a pirate, are you going to chop off his leg and put a peg on it?
Yeah.
And chop off his hand and put a hook on it and pop his eye out and put an eye patch on it?
Baby.
And now you're a pirate? I mean, you would be in prison for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it's essentially the same thing.
It is.
And I understand that people are going to be upset and charged I'm saying this, but I'm just saying that we have to recognize mental health. We have a mental health issue in America. We need to take it serious.
Yep.
And I think we got to start putting money into this and stop congratulating
That's right.
mental health and start taking it serious and get the help that they deserve.
Yeah.
A lot of these people like we talked about that were saying these disgusting, vile things.
Yes.
That's some of it's going to be a mental illness.
Yes.
And we need to take that serious. And
Absolutely.
we need to absolutely 100% get them the help they deserve, and we should pay for that. We, as a country, our health system needs help. Obviously, we know that. Mental health needs help. But I just think we need to start taking it serious and not congratulating that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm sorry we didn't even get into the estate planning.
The
We'll
estate
do it
planning.
next time.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Mark Haye, and if you guys want to get a hold of me at 727-804-7220.
Yeah, reach out to Mark. Reach out to the website, consumerqb.com. Submit the email form. It comes directly to us, and we'll get you in touch with Mark. He'll do a review for you, take a look at your finances. Also, send your stuff you're sending to your CPA. He'll look at it all for you. Consumerqb.com. Submit the form, and we'll make sure we get you in touch with Mark Haye. Coming up, Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. He's our auto industry expert contributor here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Consumer QB. consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're welcoming Mike Murphy, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, back in the studio with us, Murphy Auto Group. We're going to talk with him about his companies and mymiracleadvantage.com. Also, we'll touch base on the Bad Bunny, the NFL, and also Florida Doge. Across 4 local governments, we've already identified, this is from Chief CFO Blaze Ignolia. He says they've already identified over $754 million in excessive spending. And they traveled to Alachua County recently, $84 million there. Hillsborough County, $279 million there. You've got Orange County, $200 million there. Jacksonville, Duval County, $200 million there. The list goes on and on. These are big numbers, Mike, when you think about the Florida Doge. Give us a little teaser of what we're going to talk about today, my friend.
Ooh, we got a bunch of great stuff today. I'm awfully excited to talk about Genesis of Tampa's grand opening weekend. That's going to be fantastic. I also want to touch on EV tax credits, which are expiring, and some other really exciting news.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Good stuff there. And good stuff. All right, a couple of hot listings. We'll jump right into it. So we always feature our listings on air. It's part of a strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money with maximum profit. We got a great opportunity here for you at 3308 Landing Place in Palm Harbor. This is a beautiful estate-style home in a great neighborhood. Lots of activities going on in this neighborhood. Perfect one of those neighborhoods for trick-or-treating coming up. I can't believe it's already October here. 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor. You have 3 bedrooms plus an office, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, over 3,000 square feet of beautifully planned living space. Over 1/3 of an acre of land, and you have a private marina with boat slips right here in Palm Harbor with access to Lake Tarpon. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, bring your fishing poles and your tubes and your knee boards and all that good stuff. Enjoy the water sports out there on Lake Tarpon, 2,500-acre lake, 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, we got a property here at 12941 Wildflower Meadow Drive. This one's in Riverview. Compliments of Doug on our team. This one's 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2949 square feet, located in beautiful Triple Creek. It's a vibrant Riverview community with 990 acres of planned development. It's a nature preserve right there as well, 1,200-acre preserve. You have gorgeous interior on this home, beautiful curb appeal. And check out the common area elements here. You've got tennis and basketball courts, 2 different pools. One is more of a lap pool for the swimmers there. The other is more of a kid pool, play pool there with more shallow waters. You kind of have that sun shelf there. And also awesome clubhouse and other places to have parties as well. 12941 Wildflower Meadow Drive, Riverview, Florida, helping our sellers sell faster for more money with maximum profit. Go to consumerqb.com or check out platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
Quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services for all of your interior cleaning on your residential commercial properties. Lee's Royal Services, leesroyalservices.com. Check him out online. He's on the interior of the property. On the exterior, talk to our friends over at Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. Taking clean to new heights. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent ya. All right, Mike Murphy, welcome back in, sir.
Man, it's been too long.
Yeah, man. You've been traveling?
Every time I miss a couple weeks, it just feels weird. Yeah, I've been traveling, trying to learn about the new product that's coming. So I was at national dealer meetings for Toyota, Nissan, and Infiniti. Awfully excited about what's coming. These new cars are going to blow your mind. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I love it. And I'm very interested to hear about these tariffs, too. We've got a couple things, expiring EV tax credits, and then I want to hear about how, the tariffs are actually affecting your business and what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit tariffs in the past. Now, the nice thing about trade-ins is as tariffs went into effect and the cost of new vehicles rose, so did the value for your trade-in. So that difference, the difference between what you're getting in trade-in value and what you're getting in in your sales price is somewhat palatable. Even though we're looking at significant tariffs, we're in a situation here where your trade-in's worth more. But where I didn't speak about and what I didn't even think about is the net effect that the tariffs have had on parts.
Yes.
So it is becoming significantly more expensive to repair your vehicle. So now is the perfect time, while they're still baking in the cost of tariffs, to buy prepaid maintenance. Even if you didn't buy the car from me, you can buy prepaid maintenance from me. Get a great deal now because the average water pump on a Toyota went up. At my Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram store, the average part went up 16%. That seems like a lot when you think of a transmission going from $4,000 to $4,750, and obviously that cost, unfortunately, gets passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, is that what most people are doing? Most businesses, from what you've gathered, that it's passing on to the consumer. I've heard different things. I think it depends on which sector, which industry. Some are absorbing a little bit more. Maybe your restaurants. I just talked to a friend of mine owns. He manages a big restaurant downtown, hotel resort style place at International, and but some are absorbing and some are passing on. What's the kind of the theory there?
Well, there's just no margins on parts, right? I think what you'll see. Conservative dealerships or at least customer-focused dealerships like Murphy Auto Group, and specifically Miracle Toyota and Genesis of Tampa do, is offset the rising parts cost with some discounting on the labor. But the part itself, there's just no margin, so unfortunately that's going to be a real new normal. Yeah,
I saw that, Mike. If you just joined us, Mike Murphy in studio with me. I'm Brandon Rimes, and your host of the show, the Consumer Quarterback Show. And, I remember watching Peter Navarro. One of my favorite shows in the morning to watch is the Squawk Box.
Sure.
I kind of flipped through that and a couple of different the news networks to find out what's going on. Government shutdown, is it not going to shut down? But Navarro was on there, and he talked about specifically how you have manipulation with some of the different trade policies and some of these importing. So a lot of times it's, hey, the vehicle's, made in America or whatever it is, but all the parts are built overseas, and those high dollar component parts like your transmissions, those more expensive, more intricate type pieces of the machine that are being shipped here and then assembled in America. That's kind of a way that they can kind of shield themselves and still look good, right?
In most industries, yes. But in automotive, those parts are being taxed or tariffed at the same effect as a vehicle is being built. So the cost of assembling a vehicle in America is also being negatively affected. What's amazing in my industry is everybody says, oh, well, your domestic makers are going to be fine. Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. They're taking on the chin the worst. Because of the cost of the United Auto Workers Association, they left to Mexico and Canada decades ago. The companies that are going to be affected the least by tariffs, ironically, is Toyota, Nissan, Infiniti. Hyundai and Genesis is somewhere in the middle, but they make such quality vehicles that they're probably underpriced to begin with, and I think that an average Genesis is going to be absorbed by Genesis. You're not going to see a massive price increase at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So, what's the key here when people are looking at trading in a vehicle? What's some advice, Mike? You've been in the auto industry for generations,
Absolutely.
counting your father, and what's advice that you would have in terms of trading in, and then also leasing versus owning?
Yeah. Okay. So let's unpack that. So let's start with the secrets to trading your car in. You want to trade your car in while it's still financeable. So the average is, we're selling 2026s now. So the average bank will go to 2016 to 2018. When a car is no longer financeable, that's where your trade-in is worth next to nothing, because everybody wants to acquire a trade-in to sell it again as a quality pre-owned or a used vehicle. So be very cognizant of how old your car is. The age of it matters less than miles. So as a car ages out, there's banks that just will not touch it. So be very, very conscious of that. And ask your own lender, hey, what's the oldest you lend on? You'll be surprised. A 2015 will be worth half of a 2018, even though it's a 3-year gap, because it's unfinanceable. In addition to that, leasing versus owning, that comes down to basically 3 things. Number one, can you qualify for a lease? Do you have good enough credit? The second one is your miles you drive a year. I think this is an opportunity, as tariffs affect the industry as a whole, to reinvent leasing. Leasing right now is capped at 3 years and 18,000 miles per year. So what's that? A total of 54,000 over a 3-year period. Okay. It's my golf math, 3 rounds of 18 holes.
There you go. There you go.
But as you think about that, it's a good option, but unfortunately, most people's commute and drive makes it a little bit tough to qualify for that. Of course, leasing is 100% tax deductible to small businesses because you're renting an asset, right? Rent is considered a true expense. So for small business owners, I highly recommend leasing. If you drive under 18,000 miles a year, leasing should be a no-brainer because the entire time you have the vehicle, at least from Miracle Toyota and Genesis of Tampa, you're talking about no cost of ownership because other than your insurance, because you've got prepaid maintenance, you've got a 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty, you've got all the things that come in the Miracle Advantage plan, and it's a fantastic minimal cost of ownership. It's the car, it's your gas, it's your insurance, no surprises.
Yeah, I love that. And you also, I remember, so you got your grand opening coming up. Let's talk about that. I believe it's coming up on Friday. You got a grand opening going on, Genesis of Tampa. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is awfully exciting. You know, we waited a long time to get Genesis of Tampa officially open. We launched August 1st, and we wanted to just figure out the areas to improve. We had a fantastic August. We finished 52nd in the nation, 10th in the Southeast United States, and we're still figuring it out. Yeah. So because of our customer base and my C3 commitment to love on community, customers, and charities, we have a grand opening weekend. So Friday is the ribbon cutting, and that's where we're going to love on the community. Saturday, we've got USF players. We've got DJs, food trucks. That's going to love on our customers. And then Sunday, we're going to love on our charities and have Grable Rescue come out as we make another sizable donation to rescue Americans abroad. So nice. We're at 801 East Bears Avenue, and if you're even remotely interested in a good time, come by. It's not a hard pitch. We're not going to ask you to drive a car or buy a car. We just want to get to know you and figure out how we can serve you and serve our community.
Yeah, I love that. 801 East Bears Avenue, Genesis of Tampa. Mike Murphy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Website is mymiracleadvantage.com. I'm going to be there. I'm going to come out for a little bit and hang out on Friday and look forward to checking out those new Genesis. I haven't heard much about them. I mean, other than just our conversations, but from what you're telling me, man, they seem like an exciting brand, a really cool brand.
You know what? Here's a good way of looking at it. Look at my used cars, what people are trading in. We've had a Bentley Bentayga traded in. The number one thing traded in is Mercedes. Closely held in second place is BMW and Acura, and we're still trying to figure out how to penetrate that Audi crowd. I know Audi's very loyal to their brand, but they have got to drive this. It is superior in almost any way possible.
Wow, that's really cool, man. I look forward to that. I'll check that out. I want to switch gears, talk a little bit about the NFL. You know, making a lot of noise here. The Bad Bunny, we were talking a little bit prior to the show. I didn't know who they were, and I don't follow much of the younger musicians. You know, I'm more of a George Strait guy, and some of these other country stuff, and I mix in some of the rock and roll stuff. But tell me about Bad Bunny because I don't know anything about him.
Well, Bad Bunny was like Artist of the Year in Latin America. Has an amazing following. I'd say if we look demographically, probably 60% fan base is female. Shout out to my wife Vanna, being Colombian. She has educated me on the Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
and I think what you're going to see is a record. Not attendance, but viewership for the Super Bowl because you're attracting a whole new audience.
Yeah.
I think the NFL underscores with Hispanic females, and a Bad Bunny to the Super Bowl that everyone's watching anyway is going to break records. That's the Murphy Damas, vision of the day.
I totally understand that side of the equation. When you look at the other side of it, some people just you look at most of the songs are Spanish.
True.
Right. So a good old boy like me, a country boy, and there's a lot of us around. I'm just not particularly excited about it, and I can't see a lot of folks like me being in that category. So I just don't understand why they don't mix it up and have maybe one like they had Chris Stapleton one year. I think he did a little bit, but then they had. But anyways, to me, and I see some of the pictures of this guy. Again, I don't know much about him, but he's wearing a dress with army boots on, and he's singing Latino stuff, and it's just not my style.
You a question. Did you happen to see Happy Gilmore 2?
Yes.
Do you remember Happy Gilmore's caddy in Happy Gilmore 2?
Vaguely.
That's Bad Bunny.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty funny guy. I think he's going to come across very well. The beats are fantastic. Did you watch last year's halftime performance with Kendrick Lamar?
Vaguely, I vaguely remember.
But it's still a good game, right?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Other than like Justin and Janet Jackson, I don't ever really remember the halftime show. I just want to see a good game. But I know my wife's more excited now than ever, and I think that's good for the brand and it's good for the game.
I can see that. I can see that side of it.
What do you think? Do you think there'll be subtitles?
I don't know. I think there'll be a lot of people switching over to different alternative programming. Jack Posobiec and Charlie Kirk's team at Turning Point USA are talking about holding a counter Super Bowl halftime show, and it's going to be something along the lines like his memorial was with Brandon Lake and Chris Tomlin, and people that are a little bit more uplifting. And again, I don't know the other guys' music. I'm just not really into it. But
I love Elevation Worship. If they did something like that, the Brandon Lakes of the world. I mean, great music, great message.
Yeah.
And I think I would be one that would switch over for a faith-based message.
Yeah.
And then get back right in time for kickoff of the second half.
There you go. That's right. All right, quick break. Right back. More with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rimes 1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. DavidReynoldsJewelryAndCoin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at DavidReynoldsJewelryAndCoin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. DavidReynoldsJewelryAndCoin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net. For all of your surveying needs, land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. That's ConsumerQB, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team, and then we'll talk more with Mike Murphy, Murphy Auto Group. He's got his grand opening at Genesis of Tampa Friday, coming up 801 East Bears Avenue. Check us out. We'd love to see you there. A couple of hot listings, and we'll jump right back into it. We always like to feature our properties on air, and it helps us sell our listings faster for more money with less headaches. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive in Brandon. We've got a well-priced townhome here. This townhome is 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1917 square feet, new flooring, fresh carpet throughout. Community pool and a gated community there. You have a lot that's included in the HOA as well. Check out 2547 Lexington Oak Drive if you're in the market for a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath townhome. Great opportunity to buy, priced right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Featuring all of our listings on air. It's a way that we help our sellers sell faster, broadcasting the entire Gulf Coast of Florida. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road, Ocala, Florida. This one is a commercial building. We've got the business for sale, the land, of course, the building for sale. This is a retail. It's a thriving hardware store with lucrative income streams. In it's in booming Silver Springs Shores, right outside of Ocala. You've got 2 rentable sections in the back, steady lease income revenue, seller financing available with a strong down payment. And you can see all of our real estate listings. And if you're buying, selling, investing, check us out at consumerqb.com. Submit the email form or give us a call on the hotline. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
She ain't prejudiced, he's just made in America.
All right, yeah. So Florida Doge. This was really interesting to me. What's been going on over the last few weeks? But 4 local governments. Blaze Ignolia has visited Mike, and CFO Blaze Ignolia. He's identified over $750 million, $54 million of excessive spending. And, taxpayers are tired of watching their budgets being eaten up by, a lot of times it's bloated salaries. There's a couple of salaries that he pointed out. I mean, $283,000 for, a middle management type of a worker, $300,000 for one. This is a picture, Dave, if we have this one, where the mayor was put together a $75,000 hologram. I think this was in Jacksonville.
Oh, my gosh.
$75,000 hologram of a picture of the mayor welcoming people in. I don't know. I'd rather have the $75,000 back in the kitty and give a refund back to the primary residences. Now, a lot of people get this wrong. They think, oh, how are you going to cut the taxes? How are you going to pay for it? You're going to remove police, fire, all this. No, well, first of all, we're talking about primary residences only. It's not going to affect investments. It's not going to affect Airbnb properties, second homes. So that eliminates a lot of it. And then secondly, hey, there's ways to pay for it. Tourism, Florida was the number one, again, setting records for tourism coming into the state last year. So there's ways to pay for it. And most other taxes we pay when we buy something. When we buy a vehicle, we're going to pay taxes on it. When we buy real estate, we're going to pay taxes on it. So why not make it when the money's exchanged, not just a rolling figure every year? And I know you have a nice house. I've got a nice house. We're paying double digits in taxes, and sometimes people are getting triple digits. A lot of money in property taxes every year, Mike, and I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah, and what do you think they're going to do? Save the money?
Right. Yeah.
We're a consumer-based economy. If you give a bunch of Floridians their real estate taxes back, we will go and stimulate the economy in other forms.
Yeah.
We're going to have more staycations. We're going to buy more things. We're going to go out to eat more often. We're going to tip higher because we've got more liquidity. So this is the perfect trickle-down economics that has made America great, small pun intended.
Yeah, we're going to invest it back in the community. We're going to invest it in charitable organizations. Speaking of charity, I thought you had long hair last time I saw you, and it looks like you chopped some off, didn't you?
I did. It started when my dad got diagnosed with cancer. I made a deal with God. I said I want to donate my money, my time, and part of my body. I chickened out on all the hard stuff, and I started to grow my hair out. So this was the 8th time. I've donated 15 inches to Wigs for Kids. It's an amazing organization. No kid should have to go back to school bald, and kids can be cruel. And this is just another way to pay it forward. And it gets back to our C3 commitment. I can't have a C3 commitment in my businesses to live on my community customers and charities if I don't do that personally. So giving up part of myself just made sense.
How long does it take to grow that much hair? To 15?
About 18 months.
Does it really?
Yeah. I feel like it was blessed because it never used to grow that fast, and still I started doing it this way. And it just it keeps going and going and going. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah, I'm glad you do that. That's super cool. So Mike Murphy, you got multiple locations as well. Talk about the other locations and how people can engage with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just starting a delivery service from our stores out of the state. So if you're interested in a Nissan or Infiniti or Chrysler or Dodge or Jeep or Ram, you're now able to work that whole deal at mymiracleadvantage.com and take delivery at either Miracle Toyota in Polk County or Genesis of Tampa, the all-new Genesis of Tampa here in Hillsborough County. And if you're in Pinellas County, we'll deliver it to you also.
10th in the Southeast already. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, God is good.
Pretty big sales.
It's all about the business. I mean, the Genesis product is incredible. And we're in a temporary facility. I'm going to build a gorgeous dealership. So right now is the right time to get a great deal while I don't have much of an overhead expense. All the savings is going back to the consumers.
Yeah, I love that. Man. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, so, look, we're in a good position right now. The economy grew at 3.8% in the second quarter. We got tourism coming into the state. Governor DeSantis is hard on crime, tough on crime. No state has done more than Florida to help our federal partners apprehend, detain, deport illegal immigrants. I mean, we're doing a lot of good things here nationally, locally. So I think we're looking good for another quarter. How are we looking? What's your predictions?
Oh, I'd like to see us make America Florida.
Yeah,
right? I mean, we're doing a whole lot of stuff right.
That's right.
I think we were 3rd in net gains in population in the last 6 months. And that's great. It just means that everything's going up. So much of our savings is our homes. Home values have been resilient relative to the rest of the community, rest of the country also. So, I thank God every day to be a Floridian, and so should our listeners.
Likewise. Absolutely, man. That is a great note to end on. We are blessed and highly favored right here in Tampa Bay. Consumer Quarterback Show. Mike Murphy, thanks for coming in. And we also had Mark Haye on the front end as well, 21st Century Financial. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.